Have you ever sat quietly in the morning, coffee in hand, and wondered, how much time do I really have left? Not in a gloomy way, but more like, if I'm lucky, how many more walks in the park? How many birthdays with my grandkids? How many mornings like this? You're not alone in thinking that way. Reaching your 70s is a blessing. It's also a wake-up call. You've made it through the hustle, the responsibilities, the big life events. But now, the questions become quieter, deeper, and more personal. Am I doing everything I can to live not just long but well? What signs should I look for that tell me I'm still on the right track? Believe it or not, science actually has some answers. Researchers have studied thousands of people over the age of 70, some who lived well into their 90s and even 100s, and others who didn't make it quite that far. And certain patterns keep showing up. Not just big, dramatic medical issues, but small, surprising signs. Clues. Signals that, together, quietly whisper the truth about your future. Today, we're going to talk about 7 of those signs. And while we can't predict the future with 100% certainty, these indicators can tell you a lot about your chances of living a longer, healthier life. The good news? Many of these signs are totally within your control. Some might even surprise you. Let's start with the first one, and it's one you may already feel in your bones, quite literally. Your walking speed. Yes, how fast you walk. That simple, everyday motion you've probably never thought much about. But researchers have. In fact, studies have found that walking speed after 70 can be one of the most accurate predictors of how long you'll live. People who walk more slowly, especially without a specific reason like an injury, tend to have higher mortality rates than those who walk faster. Why does this matter? Well, walking speed reflects more than just leg strength. It reflects your balance, your brain coordination, your muscle mass, and even your cardiovascular health. If your walking pace has noticeably slowed in recent years, that might be your body trying to get your attention. On the other hand, if you're still striding confidently down the street or around the grocery store, that's a great sign. It means your body's systems are still working in sync. So what can you do? Stay active but smart. Walking every day is one of the best, safest exercises for older adults. If you feel your pace is slowing, don't panic. Instead, make it a goal to walk a little farther or a little faster each week. The goal isn't a race. It's resilience. The second sign is equally surprising, and it might be sitting quietly inside your chest right now. Your resting heart rate. A healthy heart doesn't need to beat fast to do its job. In fact, a slower resting heart rate often means your heart is efficient and strong. For most people over 70, a resting heart rate between 60 and 80 beats per minute is ideal. But here's the kicker: if your resting heart rate is consistently above 85 or 90, and you're not under stress or ill, that could be a red flag. Scientists have linked higher resting heart rates to shorter life expectancy, even among people who don't have diagnosed heart disease. Why? Because it may indicate your heart is working too hard, like a car engine constantly revving, even when parked. Now, before you go rushing for your stopwatch, take a breath. This isn't about panicking over one number, but if you haven't checked your heart rate recently, do it. You can feel your pulse on your wrist or use a home blood pressure monitor. Even some digital watches can give you a good idea. If it's high, talk to your doctor. And then ask yourself, am I moving enough? Am I sleeping well? Am I holding on to stress I need to let go of? These small shifts can often bring that heart rate down and boost your longevity up. Now, let's talk about the third sign. This one is less physical but just as powerful. Your sense of purpose. I know, that might sound too philosophical, but it's not. It's science. A study from the journal Psychological Science followed older adults for years and found that those with a strong sense of purpose in life had a significantly lower risk of dying, even after adjusting for age, health, income, and other factors. Having a reason to wake up in the morning, something that brings meaning, joy, or connection, has a protective effect on your brain, your mood, and even your immune system. Whether it's tending to your garden, mentoring your grandkids, volunteering, writing your memoir, or simply caring for your dog, Purpose gives your days shape, and your body responds. If you've ever felt like you were just drifting through your days since retirement or since the kids moved out, you're not alone. But let me ask you this: what's one thing that still lights a fire in your heart? What would make you feel useful, creative, or joyful today? Because the moment you rediscover that spark, your body gets the message. I've got more to do. Let's keep going. And maybe that's what makes this journey after 70 so special. It's not just about avoiding illness. It's about listening deeply to your body, your heart, your spirit, and choosing every day to keep living fully. Now, we've talked about your walking speed, your heart rate, and your sense of purpose. But there's another sign that often gets overlooked, and it shows up in the way you connect with others, That's right, your social life, or more specifically, the quality of your relationships. You might be surprised to learn that loneliness has been proven to be as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's not just an emotional observation, it's from real scientific research. People over 70 who regularly interact with others, whether it's friends, family, neighbors, or even a group at the local community center, live longer. They also tend to stay sharper mentally and physically. The truth is, we humans are wired for connection. Even if you enjoy your peace and quiet, and many of us do, your body and brain thrive on meaningful interaction. A shared laugh, a phone call, a warm hug, even a simple chat over tea. It doesn't have to be a big party or a weekly dinner with 10 people. Sometimes 1 or 2 deep connections are enough. The kind where you feel heard, understood, valued. Those moments don't just feed your soul, they strengthen your immune system, lower your risk of dementia, and even reduce your chance of heart disease. If you found yourself withdrawing a bit lately, or if friends have moved away or passed on, it's never too late to reach out. Join a walking group. Call that cousin you haven't spoken to in years. Even starting a small book club or weekly game night can change everything. The next sign that says a lot about how long you'll live after 70 might be something you never thought of as a health factor: your grip strength. Seems so small, doesn't it? But your hands can actually tell a story about your whole body. Studies have shown that weaker grip strength in older adults is associated with a higher risk of disability, illness, and even earlier death. Why? Because it's not just about your hands, it's a sign of your overall muscle strength, coordination, and even how well your nervous system is functioning. So, how strong is your grip? One simple way to check is to squeeze something like a tennis ball. You should feel a firm, controlled pressure, not strain, not pain, but a steady hold. If you find your hands tire quickly, or you're having trouble opening jars or holding on tightly, that could be a subtle sign your body is losing strength faster than it should. The beautiful part is that grip strength can be improved at any age. Small hand weights, therapy putty, squeezing a stress ball, even wringing out wet towels by hand, these simple movements help rebuild strength. And when your hands stay strong, it often means your whole body is following along. Now, let's talk about something a little deeper: your emotional resilience. How well do you bounce back from hard days? You see, one of the strongest predictors of long life isn't whether you avoid hardship, it's how you respond to it. Scientists call it psychological resilience. It's the ability to adapt when life throws you a curveball. And after 70, the curveballs can come in many forms: aches and pains, loss of loved ones, changes in routine, even moments of fear or doubt. But here's the thing: people who face challenges with a mindset of flexibility, hope, and self-compassion tend to live longer. It's not about being endlessly cheerful or ignoring reality. It's about giving yourself grace, choosing not to stay stuck in anger or fear, and gently finding your way forward. You might have heard someone say, "He was too stubborn to die." But there's truth, their stubbornness, when it's paired with optimism and purpose, becomes a kind of quiet superpower. So if life feels heavy right now, take a deep breath. You're allowed to feel all of it. But remind yourself, you've made it through so much already. And every time you choose hope over fear, kindness over bitterness, or action over worry, you send your body and mind a signal that says, we're not done yet. Before we wrap up this part, let's look at one final sign that can quietly predict how long you might live after 70. It's one most people overlook, but it's incredibly powerful. The quality of your sleep. It's easy to dismiss sleep changes as just part of aging. And yes, sleep patterns do shift. But consistently poor sleep, trouble falling asleep, waking up often, or not feeling rested can affect everything from your memory to your heart health. Researchers have found that older adults who get restorative sleep around 7 to 8 hours of consistent, deep sleep tend to live longer, with sharper minds and fewer chronic diseases. Sleep is when your body repairs itself. Your brain clears out toxins. Your immune system resets. It's not just rest, it's renewal. So if sleep has been difficult lately, it's worth taking seriously. Avoid screens an hour before bed. Keep your room cool and dark. Try a calming ritual, maybe gentle music, deep breathing, or reading something uplifting. And if snoring, restlessness, or waking up tired is common, talk to your doctor. It could be a sign of sleep apnea, which is more common than you think in people over 70. These quiet nighttime hours aren't wasted time. They're your body's best chance to reset and rebuild. And when you treat sleep like medicine, it gives you back something priceless: energy, clarity, and more time to enjoy your life. And more time to enjoy your life, because that's really what this is all about. Isn't it? Not just how long you live, but how deeply, how fully, how joyfully you live the time you have. There's one final sign researchers have studied that gives powerful clues about longevity after 70. And while it might seem simple on the surface, it carries more weight than you might expect. It's how often you sit and how long you stay sitting. Now, I know what you might be thinking. At my age, haven't I earned the right to sit and relax? And the answer is absolutely yes. Rest is essential. Comfort is a gift. But here's the catch. Prolonged sitting, especially sitting for more than 8 hours a day without movement, has been linked to a higher risk of nearly every major illness. Heart disease, diabetes, cognitive decline, even early death. The human body was designed to move. Not to run marathons or lift heavy weights, but to shift, stretch, bend, and walk throughout the day. And when we stay still for too long, the systems that keep us alive, our blood flow, our digestion, our muscles, all begin to slow too. But here's the hopeful part. Even small movements matter. Getting up every 30 to 60 minutes and taking just a minute or two to stretch your legs, walk around the room, or do a few shoulder rolls, it all adds up. You don't need a gym. You don't need fancy gear. You just need a gentle nudge every so often to say, "Hey body, we're still in this together." You could try something simple. Place a glass of water in another room so you have to get up to drink. Or keep a reminder by your chair, maybe a sticky note that says, "Stretch and smile." Over time, these tiny habits can become part of your rhythm, and your body will thank you. So, if we look back at these 7 signs: walking speed, resting heart rate, sense of purpose, strong social ties, grip strength, emotional resilience, quality sleep, and reducing sitting time, something beautiful starts to emerge. It's not about being perfect. It's not about avoiding every illness or erasing every wrinkle. It's about listening. Your body is always sending signals, gentle, quiet clues. And when we take the time to notice them, really notice them, we give ourselves the power to respond, to nurture, to adjust, to keep going. Maybe you're watching this today feeling great, energetic, sharp, full of life. That's wonderful. Keep doing what you're doing. Celebrate it. And keep your eyes open for these signs as quiet reassurance that you're on a strong path. Or maybe things have felt off lately. A little slower, a little heavier. Maybe you're worried it's too late to change. But here's something you need to know. It's not too late. The science is clear. Even small shifts at 70, 75, or 80 can add months, years, or at the very least, better quality to the time ahead. You don't have to do everything today. You don't even have to do everything this week. But you can choose one thing, one change, one new habit. Maybe it's walking an extra 5 minutes each day. Maybe it's calling an old friend. Maybe it's drinking more water or turning off the TV an hour earlier. That one thing can start a ripple. And once that ripple begins, it can carry you into a future that's not just longer but richer, lighter, and more peaceful. Because let's be honest, the goal isn't just to extend life. The goal is to fill it with moments that make it worth living. Laughter, curiosity, wonder, kindness. That quiet joy of watering your plants in the morning or hearing your grandchild's voice on the phone. That spark of pride when you do something on your own. That little peace in your heart when you say, I'm still here. I'm still me. You are not defined by your age. You are not defined by your diagnosis, your past, or even the aches in your knees. You are defined by how you show up today. And today you're showing up for your future. So take this moment, this very moment, and ask yourself gently, what is one thing I can do to care for my body, my heart, or my mind today? Write it down. Say it out loud. Better yet, do it. And then, if you feel encouraged, share it with someone in the comments. You never know, your story might be exactly the one someone else needs to hear. And if this video has spoken to you, inspired you, or even just reminded you that you're not alone on this journey, go ahead and click that like button. It lets us know we're reaching the people who need it most. And don't forget to subscribe. We've got so many more heart-centered, science-backed videos coming just for you. You deserve a full, vibrant life at every age. And you're not walking that path alone. We're walking it with you, one step at a time. Here's to stronger hearts, wiser days, and the beautiful, quiet power of growing older with grace. You've got this. There's something beautiful that happens when you reach a certain age. The world may call it old, but those of us who live it, we know it's something richer. It's layered. It's earned. Every wrinkle, every gray hair, every slower morning, it all holds a story. And now, as we wrap up this journey through the 7 signs that can quietly predict how long you'll live after 70, let's come back to the heart of it all: choice. You may not get to choose everything that happens to your body, but you absolutely get to choose how you respond to it. And that's where your real power lies. Because longevity isn't just about avoiding illness. It's about building resilience, physical, mental, and emotional, brick by brick, choice by choice, day by day. Maybe today you choose to stretch your hands a little longer when you wake up. That's grip strength. Maybe you take an extra walk around the garden instead of sitting down after breakfast. That's movement. Maybe you call someone just to hear their voice, to say you're thinking of them. That's connection. These aren't small things. These are the things that add up to extra years, sometimes even decades. And more than that, they add up to quality of life. They add up to mornings that feel clear, days that feel purposeful, nights that feel peaceful. Think about this. Every person who has ever lived past 90, or even 100, they didn't do it with perfection. They didn't follow a perfect diet or have a flawless exercise routine. Many of them had regrets, made mistakes, faced heartaches. What they did have, more often than not, was the willingness to keep going, to adapt, to stay curious, to stay engaged in life. And that's what you have too. Right now, in this moment, you have breath in your lungs, time on the clock, and choices at your fingertips. So maybe today is the day you start something new. Not because you're trying to fix yourself, but because you've decided to honor yourself. Maybe it's painting again, or learning how to use a tablet, or joining a walking club, or simply standing up one more time today than you did yesterday. That's how longevity is built, in these soft, intentional steps. And if you've been struggling, if you've had a season of grief or pain or isolation, I want you to know something. You are still allowed to hope. You are still allowed to change. Your story isn't over. Your best chapter might still be ahead. It's never too late to reconnect with your body, to laugh a little more, to get your blood flowing and your heart open again, to say yes to one more adventure, even if it's as simple as walking to the mailbox or planting a tomato. We often think the future belongs to the young, but the truth is it belongs to the bold. And boldness doesn't always look like big action. Sometimes boldness is getting out of bed when you'd rather stay curled up. Sometimes it's asking for help. Sometimes it's trying again, after life knocked you down. And you've done that again and again. That's what makes you stronger than you know. So here's what I want to leave you with. You are more than a number. You are more than your age. You are more than your medications, your memories, your aches, or your losses. You are a living, breathing example of persistence, of grace, of wisdom. And no matter what any study says, no matter what any doctor predicts, you get to influence your path forward starting with the choices you make today. You've listened to your body. You've learned what the signs mean. Now it's time to trust yourself, to do what you can, to celebrate what's already working, to improve what needs attention, and most of all, to live not just longer but truer. Let's walk forward from here, together. One stronger heartbeat at a time. One more step toward the sunshine. One more deep breath, grateful to still be here. And if this video reminded you that you're capable of more than you think, go ahead and share it. With a friend, a sibling, someone who might need that same nudge. Let's lift each other up. Click like if it resonated with you. Subscribe if you want more support, more hope, more life-affirming reminders like this. We're building a community where aging isn't feared, it's honored. Where you're not invisible, you're seen. And where your best years aren't behind you, they're still unfolding. Here's to you. To the 70-year-old who still dances in the kitchen. To the 80-year-old who walks with pride. To the 90-year-old who laughs louder than ever. To the life that continues to surprise you in all the best ways.